something that's not beautiful. Okay. And that is sending your children on their first day of school in dirty clothes. That is something that Janelle Evans did. And she just posted these photos of her kids on their first day of school, so proud of it, as if that's not what she did. I was like, really, girl? Like, are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? So we know that Janelle spent her weekend partying it up with her friend Tori, who has now officially moved to Las Vegas, right? And so I guess all that partying left her too hungover or something to set aside some clean, pressed clothes for her kids or to do her daughter's hair. Take a look at this photo that she shared on her Instagram yesterday from the first day of school. I'm so upset for them. Look at Kaiser's pants. Look at how dirty they are. Look at the stain on his hoodie, right? Look at Ensley's shirt. It's too big. It's not even like ironed or anything like that. You know, she couldn't have done anything. Like, I don't get it. Janelle, this is what you post. And you know what? I kind of suspect that Janelle probably didn't even take them to school herself. Like maybe she had somebody else take them and to take this photograph. This is crazy to me that you post this. Like, you're so proud that this is how you sent your kids to school on their first day. Like, listen, I remember we had something called, we had Payless shoes and then we had Call It Spring. Every year on the first day of school, I would have my special new shoes laid out next to me, you know, just below my bed. I have my special new outfit when I was in school without uniform. So for my high school or middle school, I should say, we had a uniform, right? But that uniform would be freshly pressed, clean, washed, everything, you know, and then I'd have my new shoes or something like that. Maybe I don't know, right? Like something. And I'm not saying that the kids' clothes have to be new. I'm just saying that they got to be clean, baby girl. This is the first day, you know, like I'm just thinking about the way I was sent to school for the first day versus the way that these kids were just sent to school. And mind you, my parents did not have Janelle Evans, Teen Mom, OnlyFans, you know, coin. Like, that's crazy, girl. That is crazy. Again, I really think that she partied a little bit too hard. And so she was too hungover to set these kids properly. But here's the thing. You know, before you go out and do your partying, and Janelle is a very experienced partier. She's been at this for decades, right? Wouldn't you be like, okay, well, I'm going to be too hungover, so I want to be as efficient as possible. I want them to look as good as possible. So why don't I make sure the clothes are already clean, make sure the lunch, the snacks, everything are already packed, set them aside so that way, you know, I'm putting on my sunglasses because, you know, I'm seeing molecules, like the light is too harsh, you know, from all the alcohol I'm drinking and all the weed I'm weeding and whatnot. And I'm just telling them, go wear this stuff. It's already set aside for you. And they look good. And, you know, it's less work for me, right? Like, this is just so remarkable, but not in a good way. I'm saying that in an insulting way, right? Like, that's remarkable that she sent them to school like this, but I digress. Listen, overall, the outfits, it's just, yeah, please, clean. Clean is the most important thing. I just do not understand how she messed this up for the first day of school. But this is peak Janelle, right? This is peak Janelle. This is how she is, just so like, I don't care sort of a thing, right? I don't get it. Anyway, let me see what y'all have to say about this in the live chat if you're watching live, or in the comment section if you are part of the Playback Posse. By the way, what do y'all think about these tickers? Because I do put the timestamps for, like, you know, the Playback Posse, but now, like, you get to know, if you're like just skipping around, what's coming up next. Just a little bit of an FYI. So Shauna saying Diane Downs. Listen, I hope it doesn't end that way. But, you know, she very much does give Diane Downs sort of a vibe. Mess. You guys were not feeling that picture. Jump scared. Sorry, y'all. My bad. Hey, Portia. Nice to see you. Good morning. Jaleesa is not impressed. Hamlet says she thinks it's enough to show up to take the picture this time. And that's the gag. I'm not even sure that she actually showed up. Like, how much do you want to bet that, like, somebody else brought these kids to school and then sent the picture to Janelle? Remember, Hilarious, various baby daddies have exposed her for that. They said that that's something that she does as well, right? To make it seem like she's a lot more present than she actually is. And this is Becky about Megan. Yep, she's got it all. Oh, no, she's not insufferable. Oh, no, please give season 2 of what is it called again? With love, Megan, a chance. She is so adorable. Crazy Dalmatian Lady says probably Kaiser's old shirt on Ensley. You know what? Let me go ahead and run that back because it does look kind of masculine, this shirt, right? And again, it's too big for her. It's not ironed or anything like that. So I don't get it. Listen, like I think she could have done a lot more, right? I think she could have made a bigger effort for these kids for the first day of school. And I remember everybody always had their Sunday best for the first day of school. So just to show up looking like that, you know, versus everybody else who's going to be polished and everything to the nines and whatnot, like, I don't know. Like I feel bad for them. Allie says this is an ex-nanny. That's pretty typical attire for some children. Really? I feel like maybe later on in the school year, but to start things off, damn. Winnie the Cat says, why was Kaiser dressed for a chilly fall day when he's in the desert and it's like 100 Fahrenheit? 37 Celsius and you're wearing a hoodie? That's crazy. Because right now it's 34 and I've got the fan cranking up, you guys. I can't imagine wearing a hoodie in this weather. Mind you, it's hotter for him over there than it is for me over here too. Well, that's true, which also begs the question, why is Ensley wearing an oversized like denim, you know, whatever this shirt is in that sort of a heat? I feel like, you know, I don't know. Like I don't know. Like maybe Janelle's cold from like the come down on whatever she was on. And so she thinks everything else is cold or something. I don't know. But it's so strange to me. I don't get it. Raven says, I think they look fine, except Kaiser looks like he bit down on the ground on his knee and maybe got food on his hoodie. Right? Allie says the clothes look musty. And then Lex says Kaiser looks miserable. Poor kids. I hope they have a good school year. Yeah, I hope so too. Listen, they must be so happy to have like some hours away from her at the very least, because there was a time where Janelle, at the behest of her ex-husband, David Eason, had the kids homeschooled, right? Which meant that they were never really able to interact with other children. They were always like stuck under these two 24/7, right? And all the fighting, the screaming, like nobody really checking on you and making sure you're getting proper education, proper anything. Like this at least is a relief. You know, it sucks that they're not being sent looking their best, but at least they're away and able to learn and to interact with the outside world, right? Portia, we got an insider, y'all. Portia says Janelle's daughter goes to my son's school here in Vegas. She's a mess, but her daughter is a sweetie pie. So do you see Janelle in the drop-off line? Portia, was Janelle actually there to drop the kids off yesterday, or is this like somebody else that she sent to drop the pictures? Can you be her boots on the ground? Like keep us posted on what's going on here in the school. Like, do you have any scandalous stories about Janelle at parent-teacher night? You know what? My school, we used to have like these open house types of things, like these barbecues or whatever. Some funny things that used to happen back then. Do you guys have those kinds of things? Is that like a Canadian thing, or do y'all have it too in the States? Winnie the Cat says kids are mean too. Send your kids looking like that and you're begging for them to get bullied. And that's the thing. That was my first thought. Kids are so freaking mean. And the first day of school is when like everybody looks so freaking polished, you know? So for her to not even really try or whatever, like, I don't know, like that kind of sucks in my humble opinion. So once again, there's a picture of Janelle sending her kids off to school in dirty clothes. You know what? So, you know, like I told you guys, she spent her weekend partying and moving Tori across state lines, right? So she wasn't preparing for this. This was the last thing on her mind. And speaking of the last thing on her mind, she probably was also preoccupied trying to sober up because she had a date that night. Take a look at her Facebook. Sometimes there are no words for Janelle, right? Like Janelle is just so fascinating. So here she is on her Facebook making this announcement Monday night. So she says, once you get over the nervousness of that first date, it gets easier. All right, girl. Who are you on a date with? We want some tea. We're interested in knowing how all of this went down. And how the heck did she find time to even go out on a date? Because mind you, she was partying with Tori over the weekend. Then she was allegedly sending these kids off to school the Monday. And you mean to tell me that, you know, instead of a nice debriefing session, like how was the first day of school? Like, is everything cool? What do you think about your new teachers, your new classmates, blah, blah, blah. She hightailed it over to a date? Huh. All right, girl. girl, listen. Very, very fascinating. You know, she's just so fascinating to me. She says, 1 baby don't stop the show. 2 babies don't stop the show. 3 babies don't stop the show neither. Great question, Linda. I'm going to have to look further into this about Jace's education. But don't forget, Jace was getting into a lot of trouble at school and whatnot. So I do wonder if he's been placed in some sort of a special program or something like that. I don't know. I don't want to speculate without having the answer. But I imagine that something like that could be at place or could be the reason why you're not seeing him. Didn't I tell you all I had a friend somewhere? Look, that's Julian. What was I saying? So, you know, that could be the reason why you're not seeing Jace in those particular photos. Maybe his school is a different school. This might be an elementary school. This might be a middle school or something like that. I don't know, but very, very interesting stuff. I'll keep an eye on it for you guys, okay? He might be getting homeschooled. Maybe he might be going to some kind of like special school. I don't know. Gwen says, I just don't get why Janelle is so comfortable being this kind of non-mom. She would be better suited to being a dad or a big sister, just saying. Not a dad. The men are catching strays today. That is absolutely freaking hilarious. But I agree. Like, here's the thing. Like, you have one as a teenager because you don't know how contraception works or you don't know that it exists or something like that. Like, right? Like, you got that teenage ignorance, whatever. But then to go and do it 3 times when you were just so clearly not interested in the whole motherhood thing, like, that's insane, truly. Hamlet, I love the name Maggie. It's so cute. It reminds me of the baby from The Simpsons, and she's so cute. Today's my Maggie's first day of 7th grade, and I can't wait to hear about her day. Janelle has one feeling, and it's for herself. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, after the first day of school, the scoop, like we would all be coming home with the tea, like, oh my God, there's all these new this, there's all these new that, I'm in this class. Like, it was a time, right? Like, this was like a fun, exciting time, like, you know, as a family and whatnot that like you would discuss. And so, I don't know. Like, it's just so crazy to me that in lieu of that, she went on a date. Like, okay, girl, like that is so freaking fascinating. I really have no words for it. Oh, Hamlet's, I think you told me this before. You said her name was Magnolia. And I was like, wow, what a beautiful name. It's so like royal. It's giving old money, Magnolia. I love it. Ronnie says, how many different dogs do you want? Listen, I don't know. It all depends. Listen, in my building, a couple of people have dogs, right? And so they all know that I freaking love dogs. So this girl, for example, she's actually American. I don't remember where she's from in America, but she's American. And so she's taking her French classes today. And so she's like, Grace, would you mind? I said, absolutely not. I freaking love, especially the small ones. So I couldn't give you a proper number. It just depends. Portia says, I very rarely see Janelle at drop off. Yesterday was chaos and I didn't see her. I told y'all Janelle was not there. I told y'all she did not take this picture. This obviously is not 100% proof. She wasn't there and didn't take the picture. I'm just saying it's very likely that Janelle could not get up in time. Listen, you're partying until late. Like, how are you going to get up early, you know, to bring her kids to school? I don't know, right? I told y'all. Portia didn't see her. Last school year, I rarely saw her. There you go. There you go. Do you know who like drops the kids off, or does she like kind of like drop them off at the curb and they have to like tuck and roll and get in there because she doesn't want to be recognized or something like that? I'm really, really curious about it.